everyone,
Hello!
and welcome to Kirsty and Bryony's Comfort Zone.
I am Kirsty.
And I am Bryony, and we are going to dive into the world of dreams and try and figure out what the heck is going on inside our heads.
Ooh.
Have you been dreaming?
Yes, I have been. The dreams are coming in thick and fast. They don't stop. It's weird. They just
So much going on.
Yeah, I just keep dreaming and I'm like, where are these coming from? I don't understand. I'm not used to it.
I had a dream the other day that it's not deep, so this doesn't count. We're not getting into dream talk too early. But I had a dream that I told you about that was that I was meant to be doing a bath stream with RT.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like really excitedly getting ready for it. And I had like put on like the bikini that I was gonna wear to the pod, but in the end didn't. But when I was trying it on, because I hadn't worn it for a few years, I was like, oof, this I need a bigger size. This is not grown with me. And so in the dream I was like trying to shop for like a nice cute little bathing suit, and I was getting like bubble bath ready, and I was really excited for it, and I was like, oh, it's going to be so like wholesome and cozy. And then I switched on Twitch whilst I was getting ready, and there was a stream that RT was in the bath with Lewis, and I felt so betrayed.
No.
I was just like, I can't believe you've done this.
I can't believe
And
it. So how could you do this, RT?
I told RT the next morning, I was just like, I had this dream, and he was like, you can't trust anyone anymore. It's like, I was going to look up bath actually, but I've brought my book, but I realised I've left it in my bag behind me, so keep the people entertained.
Do it. Get that book.
I have it. Right.
Oh.
Just as a little easing us in. Where is it? Bath, 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 bath. When we dream of being in the bath, it may indicate the need for cleansing of some old feelings, the need to relax, to let go. We have an opportunity to contemplate what has occurred in the past and to adopt new attitudes. Well, I didn't get to have my bath because Lewis got it. So I didn't get to do any of those things.
Oh.
I didn't get to let go or relax. It was the opposite. I held a grudge. I was very
Hold a
angry.
grudge against Lewis specifically. And RT.
Yeah. Which is funny because I swear, like, the night before that dream, oh, wait, would it have been the night before? Did I tell you about the dream of, I think it must have been the last episode, the dream where, the kid trying to rob Lewis. And I was really, like, protective of him. I think that was the night before. So then I protected him, and then Lewis just went and betrayed me. Sort yourself out,
Can't
Dream
trust
Lewis.
anybody these days.
No,
Jeez.
Artie is right. It also says, wait, I lost the blooming page. It also says to dream of bathing someone shows the need to nurture or to have intimate connection with that person. So I guess that is what Dream Lewis needed, and I didn't get.
An intimate connection with RT.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It says communal bathing depicts innocence and sensuality combined.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
Well, there you go.
But I guess I do have a need to relax, apparently. So maybe I should have a bath. I'd quite like to have a bath.
I had one yesterday. I love a bath.
Oh,
It's cooled down a little bit now, so it's like not just hell on earth running a nice bath.
I've been tempted to sleep in the bath in times when it's been quite warm. Because, like, I've got the ice pods for the bunnies, and I've got, like, terracotta pots that I put in the fridge for the hamsters. And I was like, where's my cool pad? And I was like, the closest thing I could get would be to just get in the bath when it's empty. Just sleep in that.
Honestly, like, a bath, like, full of, like, blankets and stuff, I bet that would be nice. It'd be like a big crib.
Yeah.
My go-to when it's really warm is the sofa. It's a bit cooler in my living room, so I just sleep on the sofa.
My go-to is to sleep in the spare bedroom because the window fully opens. But now it turns out we have a cat that comes into that window. So So I can't do it anymore because it will just let the cat into the house. I mean, I don't know, like, because obviously I could have the door closed so they wouldn't just get around the house. But it was just quite a shock to have that. Like, the first time I was really tired and I went into that room to close the window because I don't like leaving it open if I'm not sleeping in there, because I'm like, what if someone climbed in?
Yeah.
Because it's quite a big window. And I went in and I just saw this like shape move, and I was just like, oh, I'm just really tired. I just thought I saw something. It was because it's like a really fluffy black cat, so it's just this like shadow moved, and I was just like, oh, I'm just sleepy. And then I closed the window and I looked out, and there were just these eyes looking at me, and I was just like, oh no, I didn't see something. I actually saw something. So then the next night I was like, oh, I don't really, because Artemis, our little foster hamster's in that room, so I didn't want her getting scared. So the next night I was like, well, I'll just go in there because the cat ran away as soon as I came in. They're not going to have the confidence to like be in the room if I'm in there. So the next night I left the window open, but I stayed in the room just like arsing on my phone just so she could have some fresh air. I was just like sat watching the hamster, and I looked to my right and the cat was just there, just like, hey, what are we doing? It's just, we watching hamsters? I was just like, oh, hi. And then I sort of like didn't shoo them away or anything, but I sort of moved. I like sat up so I could get ready to, like, I was more in a ready position to stop them if they tried to pounce on the cage or anything. And they just weren't fussed. They were like so bold. And eventually I had to use the old get Tabs out from behind the bed cushion technique and just shepherd them out with a cushion, being like, excuse me, kitty cat, can you move back, please?
Please leave. Oh, yeah. The pictures you've shared, they look like a little baby. They look very young. Maybe
Yeah,
they're just a little...
I feel like it's their first adventures outside, and
Aww.
They've just found our house and they think it's great entertainment. They're just like, if you're downstairs, I can watch bunnies. If I'm upstairs, I watch hamster TV. It's great.
Bless. What a sweet baby.
Yeah, I didn't attempt to like touch them at all because I was like, oh, I don't want to spook you. Fluffy little guy.
You're so cute.
But it was quite funny because I posted a picture on my Instagram story. I was just like, because they were just stood up like really long. You know when cats look like really creepy when they're stood up in like a pole. And they were stood like that. And I posted it and I was just like, wake up, babe, new sleep paralysis demon just dropped.
Oh yeah, I saw that
one. People were messaging me like, who is this? And I was just replying like, I don't know. Your guess as good as mine.
It's a cat.
It's just a little visitor. But like, there's a cat that I've not seen them for a while, but there was a cat that just wandered into our kitchen one day in just like a bold as brass move. I had the kitchen door open because I was like, I always said tea bagging. I was tea staining my Halloween costume with tea bags. Mm-hmm. And this cat just sort of strolled in, just like, hey. I was just like, excuse me, you don't live here.
Hello?
Like, but it's just the way cats would just go into a house and just be like, yeah, this will do. Like,
literally. It's the thing, my mum...
Occupado!
My mum listens to this podcast, and every time her cat is out for an extended amount of time, she'll message me like, he's not home yet. And I'm like, he's just at other people's houses. He's probably being fed. He's probably like hanging out with someone. He'll come back later. This is just what cats do.
Yeah.
They're just little gremlins, and they're chancers and opportunists. And they're like, you know, if they can go and watch a bunny or eat some food or sleep in the sun, they'll do it. They don't care.
I was thinking like, I was like, oh, next time Tab stays, I should steal some dreamies. And I was like, no, don't feed the cat. It's really bad to feed strange cats.
They'll keep coming back if you do.
Oh, I remember when I was a child, my friend had a cat. I think he was called Oscar, maybe. But, or was it Toby? It was one of those like, you know, human cat names. And just one day he just decided to move in across the road with the neighbors. He was like, I think because they were obviously like two young kids, and the cat was just like, no, just I like it here better, and just moved across the road. Like, see ya.
Oh.
But I guess at least they knew he was still okay.
Yeah.
They obviously just preferred the vibes of that house.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wish I got cat visitors. I had one appear on the balcony once, but never again. I think they looked through the door at Tabs and hissed at him, and Tabs was like,
Oh,
what's that? But there's a lot of cats around me, though, but they all stay on the ground.
yeah.
Whereas I'm a floor up, so they don't really come up here. Bless them. It'd be nice to get a little visitor.
When I was getting ready to come into the office today, I noticed that Alex had left the spare bedroom window open. And I was just like, what if the cat came around in the day? I think I'm just paranoid now about, like, what if there's just a cat in the house and I don't realise?
Yeah.
Especially when it's, like, a black cat. So it's not going to be, like, immediately obvious if they're just sat in the corner of a room. So I went around and did a quick check of, like, any cats here before I closed the window. Because, like, I swear so many times when people, I mean, like you were saying with your mum's cat, like, when people say, like, oh, missing cat. And I'm like, they're probably just sat in someone's house, just, like, watching people, like, hee.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't know.
Babies. Babies.
Did you have a dream you wanted
I do.
to share? Oh.
I do indeed. I have a few dreams in the old bank. I have one that I transcribed that I tried to do last week, but it's not a very interesting one. Having transcribed it, I was like, oh, it's a bit poo. I have another one, and I have a third one, I believe. But yeah, I have one now, which I had on the 26th, which I can read out. I'll do this one because it has my D&D group in it, and I said to them they're going to be on the podcast. So,
honorary guests.
Yeah. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. I was in a flat, which I assume was mine. I was eating food with my D&D group. I had pie, chips, and mushy peas. We were all playing a game around a table when I get a text from my friend Jack, and it says that when he comes over next, he might have to stay because he's in some sort of trouble. I said, no problem, buddy. And then next thing, he's walking through the door and he sits with me. So that was quick. I say we can share my role in whatever game we're playing. And then he starts to glow blue and the building goes dark. We look out of the window and the police are going to every building and checking over two random people that are glowing blue. Out of the people that are glowing blue, they're picking two of them and they're checking them over. So we know which ones they're looking for because they're blue. We don't know why. But they're looking for something. But I don't know what. I can't remember what. So we had to hide Jack or they'd take him. We decided to hide him in the bathroom because then the blue glow wouldn't go out of the window. There were no windows in the bathroom. And if he stayed in the living room with us, then they'd see the blue and they'd come knocking. So we shoved him in the bathroom for a bit until the police had checked two people over, and then we let him back out. So when the police are checking over these people, when they're done with them, their blue changed to green. So they were glowing green because they passed the test. But I guess Jack stopped glowing when the police were done, and then they moved on. So next day, I'm outside. I don't know if I said it at the beginning, but yeah, I was in a flat, but it was like not my flat. It was in like a big block. Imagine a courtyard in the middle, surrounded on like three of the sides with big, tall flats.
Yeah.
So I was standing in this courtyard and I noticed that people are having trouble leaving. They have to be double checked by security to get train tickets to leave. Basically, the courtyard was attached to, you go downstairs and then suddenly you're in a train station. So it was directly connected to the whole area. They have to be double checked by security to get their train tickets to leave. But it was coming up with like weird arbitrary reasons for the scans, like, oh, you're not quite healthy, or, you know, you have red hair, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on going anywhere, so I was just watching like, that's weird. But then I accidentally got scanned by one of the machines and I got flagged as asthmatic, which I'm not. So I had to go down the escalator to clear the issue because I wouldn't have been able to buy train tickets otherwise. And then suddenly, there I was buying a train ticket. And I was just like, oh, bloody hell. So I tried to talk to someone, but then the machine worked on the second try. It didn't seem to care that I was asthmatic. It was just like, all right, you can have a ticket. I tried to hand back a small keyring that I'd been given, which was like a waiting token. You know when you go to a restaurant and they give you the plastic thing that buzzes when it's your turn?
Oh, yeah.
So I was given the keyring when I was waiting to see someone before the machine worked and gave me a ticket. So I went back to the person. I was like, hey, I've got my ticket. Here's the token. Don't need it anymore. But the guy behind the thing is busy and he's like, sorry, you have to get in the line. You have to get in the line to hand the token back. I was just like, for God's sake. So I just walked up to a random member of staff and I was like, hey, I don't need this. You take it. And they said, well, it's a good thing you did give that back to me because they would have stopped the train to get it back. And I was just like, well, yeah, I mean, I was trying to give it back and they didn't want it. Then I get on a train. Next thing, it's nearly done, I promise. I'm in a sunny place with my D&D group. It's like a seaside, maybe like Spanish island sort of thing. We're walking towards my friend Ross's house, and it's a big white building that had been slowly cracking in half. He's come to clear out the furniture because he thinks that people are going to break in and take his stuff if it's left unattended because it's basically crumbling to dust. And we perch and hang out next to my friend Luke's house while we wait. Previously, apparently, we'd all viewed this house and bought it as a fixer-upper. It was also a dump, and we decorated it and made it lovely. So we're all hanging out there. He offers my friend Ross, the one with the crumbly house, a place on the top floor while we move all of his stuff out of his house. And Ross says, don't worry, there's not much left anyway because my bloody family's taken it all. And Luke's like, remember when we bought this place and we found a nice old boat? That was good. There was a boat there, apparently. We were just sitting there and there was a boat. And we were all just hanging out in the sun. It was lovely. We all sit in the front garden as Ross gathers together his stuff. And we see Jack standing on the roof of Luke's house, just looking out at the view. And then Mary Berry is there with a Tupperware box full of eggs. And I went and I asked her, Mary Berry, how many chickens do you have? Because you have so many eggs in that Tupperware box. And that was it.
Oh, what? She didn't give you an answer?
No, she didn't tell me how many chickens she had. I just said, how many chickens must you have to have so many eggs left over in that Tupperware box? Because, goddamn, she had a lot. But yeah, that was that.
My gosh.
That was that. Sorry if it was a bit rambly. I feel a little bit like, not quite non-verbal, but I'm struggling to get my words across today. So I'm like, bleh. But
no, you good.
But yeah, that was the dream.
Part of me, like the only thing I could think of a connection with was at the very beginning with the like going from the blue to the green. It immediately made me think of like what are they called, like traitor testers in TTT.
Oh yeah.
I was like, maybe it's like, oh no, he's good, he's turned green.
It was kind of like that, yeah, actually. Oh my gosh.
I looked up furniture because I guess you were moving furniture.
Yeah.
And it's a bigger section than I thought it was going to be.
Oh.
But in general, it says, the furniture which appears in our dreams, particularly if it is drawn to our attention, often shows how we feel about our family and home and what attitudes or habits we have developed. It also gives an indication as to how we feel about ourselves. For instance, dark, heavy furniture would suggest the possibility of depression.
Oh.
Whereas brightly painted objects could testify to an upbeat mentality. So what does it mean if everything's crumbling to dust?
Well, the furniture I didn't actually see any furniture. It was just the buildings that I saw. And they were all very light. Like, you know, when you're abroad and all of the buildings are painted white, it was like that.
What do you mean? I'm always abroad.
I'm always abroad. But yeah, it was...
like Bristol houses.
Are they always
Bristol
painted
houses
white?
are not always. Oh, painted white. I was thinking of just colourful.
Oh, no. I mean, like if
like
you go to
Mediterranean.
specifically, like the first thing that comes to mind is I think it's in Lanzarote. They literally have colour-coded housing. So all of the buildings are white and the ones by the seafront are blue and white and the ones a little bit more inland are green and white, I think. It's something like that.
That's cool.
They literally have colour-coded houses. So it was kind of like that. It was just, but more white. Just completely painted white, these houses. It was very Mediterranean.
Nice.
I think it's Lanzarote that does that. But I know why I dreamt this.
Oh.
Well, not all of it, but I know why my D&D group were there at the very least. This was so it was on the 26th, which was Saturday morning. And on Friday night, I had D&D.
D&D, yeah.
Yeah. I had Star Wars we're doing at the moment. And we had a big session where two of the characters actually died.
Oh,
One of which was Jack's character, Jack, my friend who turned blue. So yeah, it was Luke, the one who had a boat, and Jack, who turned blue, and me and Ross were the survivors. So yeah, it was a spicy session, and it was very fun. We all came away from that one just absolutely reeling, just like, oh my god. And then I dreamt about them.
Did they get like new characters?
Yeah. So
Because part of me wonders if that's what like the symbology of the eggs at the end, because eggs are very often like rebirth and
their characters are
like,
going to grow out
the
of Mary Berry's
cycle
eggs.
of life. Yeah, Mary Berry is bringing you new baby characters to have.
Yeah, no, they will get new characters. The plan is to do a small time skip and then have their characters introduced. So essentially, without explaining everything, Ross's character is a Jedi who survived Order 66. This is a little bit after... Well, it's around the time of... I think it's between like the original 2 movies. It's between episode 4 and 5. So, Ross is a Jedi who survived Order 66. My character is a young Force emergent who he's taken under his wing. My friend Jack was playing a Mandalorian, and my friend Luke was an astromech droid, so he was like an R2 kind of character.
Nice. Yeah.
But a bit more of a homicidal maniac. And basically raided a fortress run by the Inquisitorius. So the Inquisitors in Star Wars, they hunt down Force users and they do bad things to them. And we went there to rescue one of my character's family members. When we got there, the 2 Jedi went to find him, and the other 2 were on distraction duty. So they went and got loads of explosives and they were blown shit up. But then they got swarmed by stormtroopers, and Jack did a very heroic sacrifice. And P5, our droid, was already dead. So that he got blown up as well. And it was very, very good. Like, we were all just like, oh my God. And I got all teary, and it was so good. It was so much fun. But yeah, then they'll get their new characters. And then me and the other Jedi are going to be nice and depressed after the time skip. It's going to be good. It's going to be very good.
Nice.
But yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else to look up from it, but it all seemed fairly straight.
Yeah,
forward.
it was very like, with the police coming to find Jack, and then like the people at the train station, like it was all very, I don't know if authoritarian is the right word, but it was like there were a lot of scary sort of police/soldier types around. So it was kind of like being surrounded by stormtroopers.
Yeah.
It was similar vibe. It was like hiding and trying to, avoid and stuff like that. And then after everything had been solved, suddenly we were on holiday and we were all just having a nice time, and that was lovely.
I did wonder. Oh, I don't know. Is this getting on the verge of political? But when you were saying about like the things of trying to get the ticket, it did make me think of. Have you just heard recently about how like difficult it can be to get into America?
I've heard about that for a little while. Yeah.
Yeah, it just reminded me of that sort of thing of just like, I wonder if that had seeped in a little bit. It might just be
maybe.
I mean, it sort of sounds like going between the difference of like how it is in the session and then how I imagine it would be afterwards when you're all just like decompressing and talking about it. Just sorts of differences.
It was very much like that, yeah. Because my D&D group they're very fun and lighthearted, and even with something like that happening, it was all smiles the whole time. Like, and we finished the session and we were just like, hell yeah, that was so good. And like the Luke and Jack were just like, well, now we could play 2 hot twins. And we're like, oh no. Like it was just all jokes and all laughs. So yeah, it was very much like, the dire situation in the session, followed by just the fun and jokes afterwards. And then Mary Berry showed up with eggs.
Yay!
Yeah. It was good though. It was a nice one.
Yeah, it sounds good. I have my dream that I bought last week. I don't buy dreams. This is all homemade content. But would you like to listen to that one? I think this is my second Jennifer Aniston one.
Oh.
But yes, I had this. It was the 7th of July, so a little while ago now. But we can give it a little earpers.
Yes, a little listen.
Okay, here you go. 3, 2, 1, go. I had a dream that I think I had inherited this house
from my auntie and uncle over in Ireland. I don't think it was in Ireland. I think it was Norfolk or somewhere. But I was staying there and just like walking around and checking it out. And my uncle really likes a particular cowboy, but I can't think of his name. But he had all these like mannequins. There were various mannequins around the house, and one of them was stood in the kitchen dressed as a cowboy. And so Alex and I were just sort of like going about the day living there. I think there was something about having to pick a ballot to walk around the rooms, and I had to stay in a room with one of the mannequins or something at some point, but I can't remember that bit. Anyway, it was night time, and Alex and I were like staying in this, we just like sat on the sofa in this room that was just in the very corner of the place, and out the back window it was just fields for days. It's just super dark, just fields. And at some point the phone rang, and at this point I started very briefly being played by Jennifer Aniston again, and Alex was Ben Affleck. And he picked up the phone and was just like, can't talk. Oh, no, wait, I think we left it. Oh, no, I did say we can't talk today. Put the phone down and then sat there. And I think we were both expecting it to call back again in like 4 seconds for comedic timing, but it just didn't. And he was like, oh, that's weird. I was like, oh, no, it's middle of nowhere. People don't call if you tell them not to call. Then we switched back to being ourselves, and we sat on the sofa, and then at some point I was like, oh, I need a wee. So I got up and I went to the room next door that also had a sofa in, but next to the sofa was just this toilet. It's just in the middle of the room, and it was wrapped in these big white cables, I think. Anyway, this was the room that led into the kitchen, and the cowboy mannequin was just in the doorway, and it scared the crap out of me. I jumped, and then as I made a noise, the cowboy mannequin like whipped round with this fake gun and just like pointed it at me, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like a blooming security mannequin or something. And I think as it, like, I don't know, I think I just kept myself awake because, I woke up. Anyway, the end. Bye-bye.
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 Security cowboy mannequin.
My goodness.
Yeah.
And the toilet in the middle of the room covered in wires. There's something about that that's like kind of creepy. You imagine it's like a back rooms kind of thing with like, I mean, it's not an empty room, but imagine an empty room with a toilet covered in wires. It's just in the middle. There's something unsettling about that toilet.
Yeah. It was just like, I remember just the vibe of that flat. Well, I think it was like a bungalow. And it was just like, yeah, everything was just a bit odd and a bit off. And that feeling of like being in a secluded house in the middle of nowhere. And you know the sort of houses that have, you see them very often on murder mysteries when they're in the middle of nowhere and they have big windows. And just that thing of like, oh, it's nice looking out, but you can also look in. It just had that sort of vibe.
Yeah.
John Wayne was the cowboy I was thinking of.
Oh, there you go.
It came to me as I was listening to it. It's because
John Wayne came to me in a dream.
He did, but as a mannequin. My uncle used to be, I don't know if he still is, but he used to absolutely bloody love John Wayne. And when I was little, and he still lived in my hometown, because he has moved to Ireland now. When I was little, he used to have like a full-size cardboard cutout of John Wayne.
Really?
just in the living room. So
Oh
I
my
think it
gosh.
was just those sorts of memories of just having. I mean, it probably did make me jump a few times, to be fair, just because you go around the corner and you're just like, man.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Bloody hell.
But yeah, I looked up, I was curious, and it wasn't in the book, but I did a Google of what dreaming of cowboys meant. Because obviously it is just, I guess I was thinking of my uncle, and that made me think. I'd been talking about John Wayne with Alex recently as well, but I can't remember why. I think he watched a film with him in, and he was telling me like how he got into acting and stuff.
Okay.
It says, dreams of cowboys can symbolize various aspects of life, including freedom, adventure, self-reliance, and overcoming challenges. They may also represent a longing for simpler times, a connection to nature, or a desire for a more independent and adventurous lifestyle. I also was watching recently the
Yes.
third season of Race Across the World, which takes place in Canada. It's called Race Across the World. Usually they go across like 7 or 8 different countries, but seriously is just Canada. They never leave Canada.
Race across Canada only.
Race across the Canada. And I didn't realize how I can't think of a way to describe it, but like how Wild West parts of Canada was, if that makes sense. Like,
All right.
I guess it's where they had the sort of gold rush type thing, and there are parts of it where they have like, you know, if you think of the typical like big streets with the wooden fronts and like a saloon town essentially,
Yeah.
they just have places that are like that, and they visited one of those. Like that was the checkpoint for one of the legs of the race, and I was just like, I don't really think of like Canadian cowboys. I think of that as, yeah, it was just like an odd, like, oh, I didn't realize they had that sort of, because what is that area of Canada called? Is it Yukon?
Maybe.
That sort of area looks very cowboyish.
Does it? I always
Cowboy.
picture the Yukon being more like, I don't know, like cold and mountainous.
Yeah. I'll see if I can find what the name of the town was that they stayed in.
Okay.
Oh, I know they went to Calgary at some point, which is literally, Calgary is often called Canada's cowboy town due to its rich history in cattle ranching and cow things. Cows. But there you go. It's just, yeah, some of it just looks really like,
Cowboyish.
yeah, and I just hadn't really put those two things together before.
Yeah. That's really cool. I'd love
think-
to go to Canada. I just think it would be so nice.
I-
Can we go to
yeah.
Canada with the podcast money?
I'd had a dream about cowboys. We're paying
We have to go.
a trip to Canada now.
We're draining the account and then some, and we're going to Canada.
I mean, of all of the series of Race Across the World that I've seen, the one that I wish I had have been part of is the Canada one. Because, like, in other ones, they have to just get on, like, I guess places that have a better public transport network.
Yeah.
Whereas there's parts of Canada that are just so remote that there just isn't public transport, and they had to rely on just like the kindness of strangers, and car sharing is like really big because it's just had to be really big because of, you know, people need to get places. So it just meant that in that series in particular, you got to like see like the locals, I guess, a lot more. And some of the people I was just like, oh, they're just so like there was this one woman, not to spoil it for anyone, I won't say which episode it is, but there's this one woman who she's just like, oh, I'll just take you. And they're like, are you going that way? And she's just like, no, but you know, it's an adventure, isn't it? Like, I would like to think of someone doing this for me one day, so I'll just drive you to this place. And then she just like buys them lunch, and she's just like, oh, I've booked you into that hotel for the night and stuff. And I'm just like, how are you so lovely? Like, what the heck?
Yeah. That's so nice.
Yeah. And obviously, like, the problem with that show is there's always stuff that I'm just like, oh, I don't like this. Like, there is the hunting aspect and that sort of stuff. But yeah, in general, it just looked beautiful. I'd love to go to like, oh, I can't remember what the island was called. There's an island on the very west that's like, I mean, it does have bears. I guess that's just Canada. But it does just, it looks beautiful. And like Banff, I'd love to go to
Banff.
Banff. That's just like,
Island on the very west.
Yeah, they sort of like pop over there for a little bit. Oh, I'd say like watch that series.
I'm
And
looking.
it's just
There's
a really
Prince
nice
of
way
Wales
to, like,
Island. There's Vancouver Island. There's Moresby Island. There's lots of little islands on the west. Although saying
which
that,
is the one they go to?
a lot of these look like they're part of Alaska, actually, rather than Canada.
I'm gonna Google
Vancouver
Race
Island isn't.
Across the World Series 3 legs.
Legs.
Will that tell me where they stopped? Legs.
Legs.
It is like, I mean, for me, Race Across the World would be the perfect way to travel because you have a like a film crew with you, so people aren't probably going to murder you. You have like a follow vehicle that has a medic in that just follows you around everywhere. I'm just like, that's just perfect. I mean, obviously, it means that you have to be filmed the whole time and you don't have much money and have to like survive on your own for 50 days. But that, you've got a little safety blanket with you all the time.
Yeah. Just the crew.
We were finished that season. We finished season 2 now as well, but I was like, oh my gosh, should we just apply? And I looked and it just so happened that the form had closed like the week before and I was like, no.
No.
I don't even know where the next one's going, but
Boo. I'm just looking at maps now. I'm just looking at
But
the
I
Bering
feel like-
Strait. It's so interesting. It's so tiny.
you do need a bit of a sob story if you're going to go on those sorts of shows because there's always an episode like 2 or 4 episodes in where all of a sudden they like look out at landscape and then the sad music plays and they're just like, oh yeah, it's just, means a lot to be here because XYZ. You're just like, oh, here we go. What's how are we pulling at the heartstrings of this
I just gotta
person?
say, it really means a lot to be here because I really wanted to be here.
Yeah.
And now I am. Thank you.
It just really means a lot for me to travel because I don't have much money and the BBC's paying for this.
Yeah.
So it means so much.
It means so much to me to be here because I'm saving so much cash.
Like, there's one series where, like, there's this couple and they're both in, like, their 60s. And one of them had had a heart attack and one of them had had a stroke. And they were just like, it does mean a lot for us to still be able to go on adventures. And after everything we've been through, and you're just like, oh my gosh, that is really nice. But then there's someone else who's in the same series who it got to the point of his sob story. And he's just like, yeah, I've just not, like, my life sort of fell apart when I didn't make the cricket team. And I'm just like, this is your sob story?
What?
You're shit at cricket. Like, and now every time, like, I mean, obviously he's very young, so it probably does feel like a very big thing in the grand scheme of his life so far. But like now, if like Alex or I, if we like sigh randomly, the other one will just be like, "Oh, what's wrong? Are you shit at cricket?"
Didn't make the cricket team.
Oh, I wish I was better at cricket. Just like, but it's just the fact that they still play like the sad music and they're like, we just have to do what we can with this.
Oh my gosh.
Bless him. I hope he's doing okay now. I hope.
Yeah, I hope things are looking up for him.
Yeah. Hope he's got through this troubling time. Oh, do you know, like, I do find, obviously, we in this country do not have a cowboy type history, but part of me does love, right, if it wasn't for the guns and the cattle ranching, I would quite like to be a cowboy. If it wasn't for all of the basic
All of the
things that
cowboy
cowboys
things.
stand for, if it
Yeah.
wasn't for the cows, I'd love to be a boy.
Wouldn't we all?
But I just like, I mean, if I could be like a cowboy who just has a cattle rescue, that'd be nice if I could just look after cows and not have to like lasso them and tie them up and stuff. If I could just kiss them and cuddle them.
Yeah.
If I could be like a cuddling cowboy.
For cuddling only.
Because the rest of it, I like the hats. I like the little boots. assless chaps bring me a lot of joy. But yeah, I like their love of tassels. I think that's a nice little thing they've got going on.
Yeah, I can respect the tassels. I think they're very nice.
I just don't want to have to actually wrestle a cow because I like cows.
I also just don't fancy my chances wrestling a cow, honestly.
Yeah.
Just doesn't seem like a wise thing to do.
No. Yeah, I don't really want to ride a horse. Although, when it was lockdown, I used to play a lot of Red Dead Redemption online, and I used to just take my horse to the old town road and we would just ride around and look at the countryside, because when you weren't allowed to leave the house very much, it was really nice to just walk around as a cowboy.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm nostalgic for.
Red Dead Redemption 2?
Yeah, I'm nostalgic for being an online cowboy.
I remember that. And I remember you getting super into it. I
just
maybe
loved
you
it.
time to go back.
Spent the New Year's Eve 2020, we all just went on Red Dead Online and just went to a saloon, and when the clock struck midnight, we all fired our pistols in the air and Nina started a bar fight, and then we all got kicked out.
Hell yeah.
But it was a good time.
It's like one of the I don't think it was even a lockdown New Year. I think it was just us being antisocial. But we had a New Year's Eve a few years back on Fortnite, and it was so good. It was so wholesome because of the whole day on New Year's Eve on Fortnite. They do like fireworks during the lobbies and stuff. So we won our game coming into whatever year it was. Definitely not a lockdown year. We probably should have been socialising, but we were socialising. We were socialising in Fortnite. And it was great.
I mean, that reminds me of when I must have been about 14 or so, and I went around my friends for New Year's, and we spent it visiting each other's towns on Animal Crossing. And there's like fireworks IRL going on out the window, and we're just watching our DSs like, oh, look at the fireworks. That's so pretty.
It's so nice. I remember that time especially because when the clock hit 12, it was the very last moment. Like, all four of us, I think, were still alive, and there was one guy on a different team, so there were 5 left in the lobby, and all the fireworks started going off, and everyone just stopped to watch the fireworks. And then the last guy, I think he died to the storm, and we were like, yay! Happy New Year! It was so wholesome. My goodness.
And they say video games are ruining the kids.
Exactly. It was so good.
I remembered that I said there were a lot of fields. So out of interest, I looked up field in the book. And it says, when we dream that we are in a field, we are actually looking at our field of activity, what we are doing in everyday life. It may also be a play on words, in that it is to do with the feeling state and is to do with the freedom from social pressure. I didn't feel free from social pressure. I felt scared and weird. It also says, we need to be aware of the wider spaces in which we can operate our lives, to be aware of what is more natural to us, and perhaps to get back to basics. I mean, that does sound nice. Like, I would like to go to a house in the middle of fields, because it does sound lovely. It's just the one in the dream was a bit spoopy. I should look up toilet.
Oh, yes, the scary toilet.
Scary toilet.
Get that looked up. And it was covered in wires too. This is the thing that like stuck with me the most in your dream.
Yeah.
The creepy toilet.
For many people, the toilet has been, until recently, a symbol for dirt and lack of appreciation. There has also been the inevitable association with sexuality. What do you mean inevitable?
Huh?
It's just inevitable that you're going to find a toilet sexy.
I don't understand.
Surely. There's no escaping it.
Explain.
Inevitable.
Can we call out the author of this book, please?
Just like, what do you can't say inevitable and just think that everything you say is then normal.
Yeah, you can't gloss over that. Please explain yourself.
It says, nowadays, the symbolism is much more to do with the notions of privacy and the ability to reach a state where we can release our feelings in private. It says, if something is wrong with the toilet, that could suggest that we are emotionally blocked. Oh, I've got emotional constipation.
Oh my God.
Going to an unfamiliar toilet suggests we are in a position where we do not know what the outcome will be to a situation. Cleaning a dirty toilet suggests we are losing our prudish attitude.
What?
What do you mean?
What?
Stop finding toilets sexy.
So you're saying that a clean toilet means healthy sex life and a dirty toilet means you're frigid? Is that what she's saying? Or they're saying?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Dirty toilet, prude.
What?
Spiritually, a toilet suggests that we have the means at our disposal to cleanse away the negative. Well, there's a lot to unpack about this toilet, I feel.
Yeah, it sounds like. I mean, this author has a lot to unpack. I'm going to be honest. I don't know about you, but my goodness.
I mean, like, I can sort of understand that in a way. Like, if not about it being sexy, but when it's like this toilet covered in like wires, and it's a bit like, oh, and maybe it is that. Like, I guess when recently I've been talking about like if it is about emotions, I guess starting going to therapy around about this time when I had the dream, and I guess maybe it's that fear of like, oh, like it could feel weird to talk about stuff, and maybe it is that sort of thing, that it is like a place where you're meant to let go and release, but I'm scared to because it's strange. Like I can sort of understand that symbology, not the sexy part. That has me baffled. Although I do have something. There are times that I go to say things now and then I think, Kirsty's mother listens to this. That's become my new filter. But I did find something out the other day, which maybe someone else will find interesting. But obviously men have a prostate. Or not just men, people, prostate havers have prostates. And sometimes, apparently, if you have a prostate and you have a really big poo, it can activate it and cause a sort of excitement.
Right. Okay.
So maybe from that regard. But
maybe from that regard.
Don't have a prostate, and I've never found a toilet sexy. Sorry, toilets. Sorry. But there was this guy. Okay, or maybe. So I have said this. I said this to a male friend of mine recently, and they were like, I don't think that's true. And then they were like, where did you hear about this? And to be fair, full disclosure, it was on an Instagram reel.
I don't know why. Hang on, I just want to say, was it Chris Yules? Because this seems like a Chris Yules conversation.
Chris was there. Yes, it was. He also said it wasn't true, because he was like, I've had some shits in my life and I've never had that. But on an Instagram reel, this guy was like, basically he had that happen, and he said like he thought that it meant, basically he went to the doctor and said, I want to be tested because I'm worried that I've got an STD, and that means that my husband has been unfaithful to me and all of this stuff. And then it turned out that he'd just had a really big poo. And he was like, do you ever have a shit so big that you accuse your husband of adultery?
The human body is magical. Wow.
Can anyone actually, maybe don't confirm or deny?
No. No.
Prostates are weird though. Like, I feel like they're just tiny little bombs waiting to like go bad.
Yeah.
They just seem like a weird. I don't really know what they're actually for.
Let's see.
Do they serve a purpose?
I can't remember.
Because they can't serve that big a one if not everyone is in need of it.
Oh, it nourishes the sperm. It adds fluid to semen. And its muscles help push semen through your urethra.
Oh, well, I guess that's probably why I've not got one then.
Yeah.
And why I've never felt one was missing from my life.
Don't have much use for one, honestly.
No. Oh, well, there you go.
There you go.
Because you can have it removed, right? People have them removed. But then does that mean that, like, does the sperm just come out like balloons? Is it just, like, squeaking if it's not, if it's not got the juices? Is that how it works?
Hang on, I'll just look on this. It doesn't say. It's like it just sounds like a car skidding every time when you don't have a prostate.
It's like when you've drunk all of the bubble tea and you've just got the boba at the end. It just comes out. It just comes out like that.
Oh boy.
Can anyone in the comments confirm?
Speaking
Like
of toilets,
yes.
Did you see that link I sent the other day of someone on the Dreams subreddit saying, like, has anybody ever dreamt of, like, the endless toilet maze, usually in a school? And I was like, me, all the time, all the bloody time. I think I sent it in our group chat. But
I remember a specific dream that I did bring to the podcast, but it was a while ago, and it was that I was in, like, this room that was just full of toilet cubicles, and I couldn't find one that was
clean,
like, in good condition or, like, clean or had paper, and it was just like, I've had another one, actually. I remember being in, like, it was like a swimming pool changing room, and there were just loads of toilets, and every time I sat down on one, someone would walk in and I'd be like, oh, no, sorry. And it was just, I could never find the right toilet.
Yeah, it's just, hang on, it has a subreddit. There's a subreddit called r/that bathroom maze dream.
What?
It's so prevalent that it has a subreddit. I have had this dream so many times. It's usually like a changing room or a swimming room changing room or a school changing room, and it's just full of toilets. And all of them, like, the doors are too small, or there's poo everywhere, or there's no toilet paper. There's just something wrong with every single cubicle, and you're desperately looking and trying to find a good one, and you never can.
Well, one of the comments says, there's a reason for this, because if you ever find the perfect toilet in your dream, you end up pissing the bed.
You'll piss yourself. Yep. You'll piss yourself.
I have found the perfect toilet, but as soon as I start to piss, I either feel instantly drunk and can't balance to stand up and piss properly, or an earthquake starts, and that's when I wake up and bolt to the toilet, needing a large pee. And there you go.
But yeah, it's so strange. It's weird how common this dream is. I thought it was just me being weird, but if anyone else in the comments, if you've had the bathroom maze dream, let us know. Did you find a toilet?
There is, like, a fear of, like, have you ever had a dream that you have started, like, peeing, and then you wake up and that fear of, like, oh, please tell me I'm not. Because I guess it's just your, like, muscle memory reminding you what it feels like, but that I've had that fear of, like, oh.
I haven't. I've rarely wee in dreams. I don't remember. I don't recall ever pissing in a dream. I guess I just never find a toilet that's right. Yeah, I don't know.
I can't believe it has its own subreddit. This podcast doesn't even have its own subreddit.
This we should make a subreddit. Actually, no, because then we'll have to mod it. This subreddit reminds me of Dark Souls Toilet. Have you ever seen Dark Souls Toilet?
No.
Does Dark Souls Toilet have a subreddit? So Dark Souls Toilet was a Twitter account. It doesn't really mean so much if you haven't played Dark Souls, but it's still funny. But people just take pictures of weird toilets and they, like, put the name of different areas from Dark Souls over it.
Oh my god.
It's so good. Like, you'll have, like, a really opulent, like, white and gold toilet and someone will put, like, Anolondo on it. And it's just like, it's so stupid.
Oh my gosh, some of these are nightmare.
Yeah.
Chasm of the Abyss.
Oh, there's an Elden Ring one. There's a tortoise next to a toilet and it says Limgrave. Oh my goodness. I love Dark Souls Toilet. It's my favourite. This is just the toilet episode now.
Yeah, there's one of the toilets where someone's made it so it's like you're sitting on a carousel
Horse.
horse. Yeah.
I wonder if Elden
That
Ring
would be-
Toilet has a subreddit. Elden Ring Toilet. Oh, I don't think it does. Boo. It's my favourite content on the internet. Dark Souls Toilet.
Toilets. But yeah, my weird toilet. But I imagine it was to do with I think it is the emotions one. I feel like given the timing of it, it would be, you know, being in the in a house with big windows surrounded, like being able to look in. That's probably to do with feeling exposed emotionally, and then having the toilet being there. It's just I think it's all about feelings.
It's about emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually the case.
I
Maybe
was
about feeling
talking
like
to-
vulnerable as well.
Yeah, I was talking to so I had therapy on Tuesday 2 days ago, and we were talking about like getting into like some of the deeper stuff, and she was like, I think it's good that we take a little step in and then we see how you're feeling, we check in, and maybe we talk about something else if it's too much. And she was like, also, do you have anything that you find comforting? Like, is there anything like a blanket or a toy that you cuddle? And I was like, yeah, I've got this like massive panda. And she was like, oh, feel free to bring him in if you want. And I'm just like, should I just take my huge panda on the bus with me? Just like, I'm off to therapy. I'm a grown up. This is me coping with 2025.
Just do it.
But I sort of love the idea of him being there.
You can sit next to you on the bus.
Yeah.
Cute.
Well, there
Well,
you go. That's
there
what's
you go.
going on in our heads this week.
Toilets.
Oh dear, oh dear. Thank you, Kirsty, for a very lovely chat.
Thank you, Bryony. Have we had a dreams of toilets yet?
Probably.
I feel like we have.
I'll have to have a little look through, but most likely.
Very likely. Well, thank you everybody for listening to our rambling. We hope you enjoyed.
And until next time, everyone, bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.